So we got some new polling data that just came in, y'all, and it is wild. So let me walk you through this here. First, Wall Street Journal, they say the following. Democrats get lowest rating from voters in 35 years. Republicans are seen as better at handling most issues that decide elections despite respondents' unease with Trump over the economy, tariffs, and foreign policy. So in other words, and this is true based on all the polling that we've seen, Trump is plummeting. Trump is imploding. His numbers are trash. He's underwater on literally every single issue, including immigration, which historically he's always been above water. So, but even though Trump is imploding, when you ask voters about the Democratic Party, they go, oh, I fucking hate him. I despise him. So Democratic leadership has this plan of let's sit back, let's chill, let's shut the fuck up, let's let Trump hang himself, let's let the Republicans hang themselves, and then we swoop in and save the day, right? Like we don't have to lift a finger and we're going to crush in the midterms. This is the mindset. Now, on the one hand, is it possible, if not likely, that Democrats will win the midterms? Yes, that's true. But on the other hand, if you actually were to care about stuff, campaign on stuff, make an argument, fight, then it wouldn't even be a question if you were going to win or not, and you would win in crushing margins. But they've actively made the decision to do nothing, to say nothing, to shut the fuck up and let the Republicans hang themselves. But clearly what they didn't realize is, you do know it's possible, right? That yes, Trump's numbers can implode and the Republican numbers can go down, but yours can go down even more. And that's where we are. So on this chart here, I mean, you could see it on the chart. You can see it. Democrats are minus 30 to Republicans only being minus 10. Let me walk you through some of this. The Democratic Party's image has eroded to its lowest point in more than 3 decades, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll, with voters seeing Republicans as better at handling most issues that decide elections. The new survey finds that 63% of voters hold an unfavorable view of the Democratic Party. 63%. The highest share in journal polls dating to 1990 and 30 percentage points higher than the 33% who hold a favorable view. That is a far weaker assessment than voters give to either President Trump or the Republicans, who are viewed more unfavorably than favorably by 7 points and 11 points, respectively. A mere 8% of voters, 8%, view the Democrats very favorably, compared with 19% who show that level of enthusiasm for the GOP. So, more than double the number are very enthusiastic about Republicans. Why? Because Republicans, what do they always do? They super serve their base. And so the base is rock solid. They never abandon their base. Their base is always going to ride or die for them because the Republicans look out for their base. Democrats, on the other hand, hate their base and say fuck you to their base and do none of the things their base wants them to do. And so this is the result. Only 8% view Democrats very favorably. Democrats have been hoping that a voter backlash against the president will be powerful enough to restore their majority in the House in next year's midterm elections, much as it did during Trump's first term, but the Journal poll shows that the party hasn't yet accomplished a needed first step in that plan, persuading voters that they can do a better job than Trump's party. I gotta be honest with you, absolute catastrophe for the Democrats, but this is what we've been warning about for so long, is like, yes, the Republicans will hang themselves. Trump will hang himself because they believe in stupid things. They destroy everything they touch. That's all true. But that's not like, it's not guaranteed that like, oh, they like you because they hate them. No, they could hate both of you, right? You have to give them a reason to like you. You have to make an argument. Most importantly, you have to fight. When people think of Democrats, they think of weak. They think of pathetic. They think of loser. They don't think of like a crusading warrior who believes in what they're advocating for, right? They don't think of somebody who never backs down, stands their ground. They don't think that. So, all right, I got some more for you. We got another poll. This is crazy to me, and I'm about to lose it on this poll too, by the way. Some more not great polls for Democrats, and then I'll tell you exactly why this is infuriating.
This one was a surprising one to me, given everything that's going on in Russia, what happened in Iran, what happened in Gaza. But the bottom line is Democrats in the American voters' minds cannot hack it. What are we talking about? Party trust and more on foreign policy. Well, the GOP holds an average 6-point lead in the month of July. Look at this. Fox News came out last week, plus 3 points for Republicans on foreign policy over the Democrats. You think that number is not high enough for you? How about the Wall Street Journal? GOP plus 8 points when they match congressional Democrats up against congressional Republicans.
So stop and think about that. Donald Trump has been threatening to invade Greenland, threatening to steal Panama, threatening war with Mexico. He's been arming and funding a genocide in Gaza, and he wants to completely take over Gaza. Ukraine is now under assault by Russia, and Russia's not listening to anything Trump is saying with his attempts to stop the war. You have Iran, illegal and offensive strikes against Iran, a country that didn't attack us. And oh yeah, by the way, the attacks didn't accomplish what Trump wanted to accomplish, which was to destroy their main nuclear facility. So all these failure after failure after failure, insane decision after insane decision after insane decision, and voters still say, we prefer Republicans over Democrats on foreign policy. Why? What is the Democratic foreign policy? You tell me. I'll wait. What do they believe on any of these issues? What's their stance on Gaza? They don't have a stance. Biden armed and funded the genocide, and they all sat back and shut the fuck up and let it happen. Now Trump is arming and funding the genocide. They're all sitting back and shutting the fuck up and letting it happen. Iran. Democrats didn't say dick about Iran. Are you for the bombing or are you against the bombing? You should be crusading against the bombing. We shouldn't do illegal and offensive wars against countries that didn't attack us. Did we learn nothing from Iraq? And you guys can't stand up 10 toes down and say, let's not do this. This is like Iraq. So the reason why the voters still choose Republicans over Democrats is because Democrats don't believe in anything. They don't say anything on any of these issues. So you're sit back and let them destroy themselves idea. It's not working. You need to believe in something and advocate for something. And that thing should be peace. That thing should be non-intervention. That thing should be negotiation and diplomacy. And you should point out we're led by a fucking incompetent madman who's on the brink of starting a world war at any given moment. Jesus Christ.
Despite everything that's going on in the world right now, Republicans are more trusted on Democrats when it comes to foreign policy and the world at large.
How has this changed, or how does this compare to during the campaign?
Yeah, again, this to me was a surprising number since Donald Trump said he'd come in and broker all these peace deals. And while he's brokered some, he hasn't obviously brokered one between Ukraine and Russia and obviously the situation in Gaza. But take a look here. Trust more in foreign policy. You go back to 2024. Trump had a 6-point advantage over Kamala Harris. Again, look at the average right now. It hasn't moved despite everything that's going on in the world. You see Republicans plus 6 points here. And this goes back to a larger issue that we have discussed over and over again here in the mornings. Despite any misgivings that the American public might have about Donald Trump, when you match up Republicans against Democrats, Donald Trump against Democrats, still at this particular point, they are doing significantly better than you might expect. And when it comes to the issue of foreign policy, again, what you see is in the American voters' minds, Democrats simply put can't hack it. More voters trust Republicans on foreign policy, very much like they did back during the 2024 campaign.
What about the strikes on Iran? Because while they were being contemplated, they were not universally popular.
No, they were not universally popular. And in the immediate aftermath, they were not universally popular. Look at this. Net approval rating, U.S. airstrikes on Iran. In late June, the net approval rating, look at that. -8 points underwater. But as the American people learned more and more about it, look at this. A 10-point rise. Now it's in the positive. The American people.
No, that's not the American people. That is MAGA. Previously saying, I'm not sure about this. Then after Trump does it, they go, I love this. That's what that is.
Like the move that Donald Trump put on Iran, the U.S. airstrikes in Iran, a positive +2 net approval rating. So again, the bottom line is this. As the American people learn more about these airstrikes, as the American people compare Donald Trump and the Republicans against the Democrats, they see them far more favorably than you might expect.
Interesting and notable that the president is overseas today. Foreign policy may be an area that is stronger for him. Harriet, thank you.
So understand something. How can we be in a place where now the illegal and offensive bombing of Iran is popular? The reason we ended up there is because there wasn't a Democrat in the entire fucking country that stood up and told the truth. There wasn't a single Democrat that said, hey, remember when we had the Iran issue figured out completely and perfectly? Remember when Barack Obama made a deal with them and then they abided by that deal perfectly and they didn't get a nuclear weapon and we gave them back their own money and everybody was happy and secure and making money? Remember that? Remember when everything on this about this issue was solved and then Donald Trump decided to rip up that agreement and light the region on fire? Remember that? No Democrats came out and said that. No Democrats came out and said Trump just launched an illegal and offensive attack against a country that didn't attack us, wasn't going to attack us, and wasn't building a nuke. And that is illegal. That is a war crime. That is unacceptable. That is Trump copying the war in Iraq, which he pretended to be against. Now he's doing the new war in Iraq. New unnecessary bombings against a country that didn't attack us. If you don't make the argument doesn't make itself. You need to make the point. You need to spell it out for people. You need to say, we had a peace deal. We did diplomacy. We did negotiations. It works. Trump ruined it. Trump ripped up that deal. You have to say, this is illegal, this is unconstitutional, there's nothing positive is going to come out of this. And also, by the way, the goal that they said they wanted to achieve, they didn't achieve. Oh, we want to get their ability to, enrich uranium. Well, you didn't. So All this, the American people still don't know that this was illegal and a colossal failure. And the reason they don't know that is because Democrats don't argue it. They don't argue it because they don't believe in anything. They sat back and watched and let it happen. And they're more than happy to come out now and say, yeah, I guess it worked out because we're not in a long-term war with Iran right now. I'm not kidding. A lot of these Democrats low-key support this hawkishness because they're all bought by the Israel lobby, and the Israel lobby wants war with Iran. And so this is where we're at, where I can't tell you a single thing Democratic politicians believe to their core because they're not making the arguments. They're not making the points. There's no public face. There's no line that they all go with where they have a meeting at the beginning of the day. They say, these are our talking points. Go out and make those talking points over and over and drill it into the heads of the American people. They don't do it. And so because of that, you have all these fucking issues where Trump is a menace, but he has a higher approval rating than the Democrats. Why? All just because he's a fucking arrogant asshole and he pretends like he knows everything and he doesn't shut the fuck up. So people go, okay, I guess he knows what he's doing. So this is unacceptable in every imaginable way. And by the way, let me point this out too. This is not a foregone conclusion, y'all. Look at this. 70% of Democrats are motivated to vote in 2026, while only half of Republicans are motivated. So 50% to 70%. So Democrats might even be able to get away with doing none of this shit, saying none of the right things, hiding, fucking afraid of their own shadow. They still might win in the midterms because Trump and the Republicans are so evil and so bad and they just kicked 17 million people off their health care. But why do you want to roll the dice that way? Why don't you want to actually fight for people, take a stand, make an argument, be confident, and then draw more people to you? I'm not kidding when I say the Democrats could put up FDR prime numbers right now if they actually gave a shit, if they actually believed in something. Could you imagine a Democratic Party across the board where they're out there saying, we're going to stop this genocide in Gaza. That's what we're going to do. We're going to deliver everybody universal health care. We're going to do free daycare. We're going to give everybody paid vacation time. We're going to try to do a 4-day work week. By the way, a new study just came out on that. Phenomenally successful. People end up way happier. They're just as productive, if not more productive. We're going to raise the minimum wage. We're going to get money out of politics. We're going to do Social Security for all. Anything. Show me you believe in something and fight. Fight this man. Fight him. Call him out. He's a menace. He's a war criminal. He's a bastard. He's a son of a bitch. Call him out, fight him, and stand on business. But none of them do it. So that's why we are where we are. Democrats should be ashamed and embarrassed that any poll at this point, with Trump's approval rating is 37%, and he's still beating you in head-to-heads. Chuck Schumer's got to resign. Hakeem Jeffries got to resign. We need real leaders, bro. We need real leaders. Al Green, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Tim Walz, Jasmine Crockett, save us. The fighters need to come in and lead the way and save us. Because this shit is not going to resolve itself. Schumer's got to resign. Hakeem Jeffries got to resign. The old guard's got to go. Because even though Trump has a 37% approval rating, he's still draxing you in polls in head-to-heads this deep. Come on, man. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.